ठीक है. So are you comfortable in English? Everybody, how many of you don't know English? अंग्रेजी मालूम ही नहीं है. 150 साल अंग्रेज हम लोग को राज कर रहे थे ना, तो अंग्रेजी तो आना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? Everybody knows English. I will mix English and Hindi, right? Okay. So, what is the topic that we are going to discuss? Huh? LGTV, right? LGBTQ. What is क्या है LGBTQ? Huh? I can't understand. You tell me, you don't discuss. Okay. Bennett.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and plus.
Plus, okay, very good. Bennett के लिए तालियां. तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. So, but I thought I have to take LGTV, so मैंने तो slide उसका prepare किया. Disappointment. But actually LGTV is better than LGBT, right? है कि नहीं? LGTV में crisp graphics है. It produces crisp graphics, right? But LGBTQ doesn't produce only. Okay? There is 16.8 million colors. Here there are only 6 colors. Doesn't care what you watch. कुछ भी देख लो चलेगा. इधर censorship होता है कि नहीं? फिर can handle 4K. LGBTQ can't handle jokes. Okay, all right. So you know what is LGBTQ, right? What is L? Okay, lesbian. What do you mean by lesbian? Any underage kid here below 13? Huh? 13. Okay. Bennett is trying to kick his brother out. Huh? All right. So lesbian means like a woman liking a woman. Lesbian का मतलब ये होता है कि एक स्त्री जो दूसरी स्त्री को पसंद करते. कैसा पसंद? मतलब ऐसे ही दोस्त लोग में जो पसंद है वो नहीं. हाँ, प्यार है कि नहीं? प्यार मतलब दोस्ती वाला प्यार नहीं. बेनेट को सब क्लास ले फिर आगे. Okay. But if there is anybody who is not understanding, okay. Actually, I think Franklin Chan has made the schedule, right? I don't know. I mean, whoever has made the schedule, ये topic को सीधा दोपहर में लगा, right? Where you should be sleeping, but now everybody is alert, right? I remember couple of years ago जब मैं तुम लोग का एज में था, तभी यही 3 से लेके 4 बजे तक हम लोग एक 5 दिन का कैंप में थे केरला में, और यही सेशन था ड्रग, अल्कोहल और सेक्सुअल एजुकेशन. Okay, we'll continue. Alright. तो 5 दिन का कैंप था, तो हम लोग एकदम एक्साइटेड थे कि अभी कुछ तो बोलने वाला है. मतलब तो पहला दिन उन्होंने अल्कोहल के बारे में बोला. डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ अल्कोहल. इथाइल क्या है, मिथाइल क्या है, कि कौन सा चेन होता है, कौन सा रिएक्शन होता है. हाँ, सीखा है कि नहीं? फिर सेकेंड डे तो हम लोग सोचे ठीक है आज नहीं बोला, कल बोलेगा. कल उसने क्या किया? ड्रग्स के बारे में बोला. कौन सा टाइप का ड्रग्स है, क्या है, अलग है. हम लोग सब सो गए. फिर 14 दिन उसने डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सब्सटेंस अब्यूज में बोला. ऐसे एक दिन करके सेक्सुअल एजुकेशन तक कोई आया ही नहीं. ठीक है. बट एनीवे, सो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस this topic LGBTQ. So as I told you, next slide. So you know this flag, right? What is this flag? Huh? Pride flag, right? And which month is Pride month? July. ये कब हुआ? अच्छा, मेरे को लगा कि हर रोज एक नया अल्फाबेट भी ऐड होता है, क्या मंथ भी चेंज हो रहा है अभी. Okay, so okay, L we discussed. G, what is G? Gay, what is gay? Huh? Man, okay, I thought pansexual. No, man liking a man, right? Man liking a man. जब हम लोग छोटे थे, तभी हम लोग when we were of your age, so there was, I mean, I don't know if still that term is there, in especially in our local friends. We say good, good. अभी बोलते हैं. It's a derogatory term, I know. But basically, when a man behaves a little bit feminine, we say क्या good, to good is a. That's not what homosexual is, right? People have different forms of expression. कोई लोग ज़्यादा मेल होता है, कोई लोग को दाढ़ी मूंछ नहीं आता है, मतलब उन लोग थोड़ी ना, they are still men only, right? Some people have, these people have, they have some internal jokes going on. Sharon and Bennett, right? Jency is there. Okay, he's taking out points. All right, then what is B? Bisexual. Bisexual meaning doesn't have any preference, no discrimination at all. Okay, so irrespective of gender, you like. Then next term is transgender. Transgender meaning, what is transgender? Huh? Man in a, right? Huh? What do you say? Who can define transgender? Ah. Okay, biologically a person is man. Matlab perfectly he is all right. Okay, there is no problem with him, but he feels that he is a woman. Okay, we'll come to that. He feels that he is a woman. So basically he is a man. पूरी तरीके से वो एक पुरुष ही है, एक मर्द ही है, लेकिन उसको लगता है कि वो एक स्त्री है. मतलब उल्टा भी हो सकता है, ट्रांस वुमन भी हो सकता है कि पूरी तरीके से वो स्त्री है लेकिन उनको लगता है कि वो पुरुष है. ठीक है. Then next is cure. What is cure? Cure or cure, whatever. Those who are confused मतलब तुम लोग तो हमेशा confused रहते हैं, वो confused नहीं about their sexuality. If they are confused, मतलब they don't know, right? Then they are cure or questioning, right? And then this is not, it is, I mean, if I am just putting the entire term, then there are many. IA plus I is intersex. Now intersex is a condition. Intersex is a biological condition, but for some weird reason they have taken that also and put it with LGBTQ. I will explain that. And then A is what? Asexual. That means they don't have any sexual feelings. Okay. So that's the term. Okay. Now we are, as Christians, हम लोग सब Christians हैं क्या? है? नहीं है. We believe in Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ has taught us to hate people. No. Then what? Now, so are we going to hate LGBTQ people? Are you going to say gay? If you see somebody like that, are you going to say no, no? Are you yes or no? Say something. No. Okay, are you going to pick thrones and stones and don't do like that? Okay. Okay. You are not supposed to do it because that is not how Christians behave. Okay. They are also our brothers and sisters in humanity. They are also human beings, right? They also have the right to live in a country with freedom, right? And not be discriminated against. है कि नहीं? सही है कि नहीं? So we are not advocating to be or to to build hatred against them. कभी नहीं करना. Okay? Nor does our Bible teach us that. Then what are we talking about? We are talking about so we are not talking about enhancing. ये सब 13, आप इसका एज कितना है? 13 साल का है? All right. So, listen. But at the same time, even if we don't hate them, we should not. I mean, we should not doubt our convictions. ठीक है? हम किसी चीज में बिलीव करते हैं, उस पर हमको शक नहीं होना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? ठीक है? तो आज के सेशन में we are going to explore some themes, right? And firstly, let us turn to our Bibles. बाइबल में क्या लिखा गया है? In Bible, in Genesis 1 verse 27, क्या कोई पढ़ सकता है? Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him, male and female. He, मतलब गॉड ने इंसान को किस तरह से बनाया? मेल और फीमेल. मतलब कितने जेंडर्स हैं? 2 जेंडर है. अभी आजकल के जमाने में क्या है? So we have 2 genders. If this is a verse from the Old Testament. From the New Testament also you have a verse, which is Mark chapter 10 verse 6. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Right? God made them male and female. कितने genders है तो? 2. इसके अलावा कोई gender है? नहीं है. But आज की दुनिया में क्या है कि आप जो चाहे वो बन सकते हैं. अभी इसके पहले वाले सेशन में क्या हुआ था? फैक्ट चेकिंग, ट्रूथ वर्सेस फेक, राइट? सो ये ट्रूथ वर्सेस फेक का जो डाइकोटमी है, इट इज देयर इन आवर कल्चर आल्सो. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स दैट आर सोल्ड टू अस. हमें सिखाया जाता है, पढ़ाया जाता है, लेकिन वो झूठ है. वो झूठ को सत्य के नाम पर हम सीखते हैं, है कि नहीं? तो झूठ और सत्य में हम कैसा डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं? ऑलराइट. सो आज की दुनिया में यू कैन बी व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू बी, राइट? अभी ये तो जेंडर अकेला में नहीं. अगर आप बहुत सारे लोग को मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर सुना है, राइट? फुकट का वो लोग मोटिवेशन देते हैं, ज्ञान बांटते हैं. तो उन लोग बोलते हैं यू कैन बी व्हाटएवर. आप चाहे तो सचिन तेंदुलकर बन सकते हैं क्या? विराट कोहली, हमारा जमाने में विराट कोहली बन सकते हैं? कितना भी क्रिकेट खेलो बन सकते हैं क्या? नहीं बन सकते. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके लिए अलग से एक इनबॉर्न टैलेंट भी होना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? सो यू कैन नॉट बी एवरीथिंग यू वांट टू बी, है कि नहीं? इफ यू बिलीव दैट यू आर अ वुमन, अगर बेनेट सोचता है कि वो बेनिटा है, या आशीष सोचता है कि वो आशा है, वो सच है क्या? नहीं. अभी you can say this here, but you cannot say it in school. Yeah, you cannot say it in your workplace. Anybody goes to work? You go to work, right? It's some of our offices and workplaces also this is there, right? Now, listen. See, I cannot have my own adjectives. Can I say handsome Ashish and ask you to force you to call me handsome Ashish? मैं बोल सकता है क्या? या मैं खुद सोच रहा है कि मैं शाहरुख खान हूं, और आई वॉन्ट यू ऑल टू बिलीव दैट आई एम शाहरुख खान. हो सकता है? नहीं. तो इफ यू कैन नॉट कंसिडर मी एज हैंडसम और यू कैन नॉट कंसिडर मी एज शाहरुख खान, देन व्हेन आई से दैट आई एम अ वुमन, देन यू हैव टू बिलीव अकॉर्डिंग टू द वर्ल्ड, राइट? यस और नो? Isn't that problematic? If I cannot have my own adjectives, how can I have my own pronouns? आजकल की pronoun का जमाना चालू है कि नहीं? What is your pronoun? Sharon? Yeah? He, him, right? What is your pronoun? She, her. But Instagram में कोई लोग ब्रैकेट में लिखते भी है, जैसे कि मेरे को देख के समझा ही नहीं. नहीं, she, her भी लिखते हैं. अरे देख के समझ रहा है she, her है कि नहीं? ओके. फिर दे देम, फिर जे जेर, फिर जिमर. यू हैव अ प्रोनाउन. सो समझ में आ रहा है क्या? बोलो. आपने मेरे को क्या लुक दे रहा है? ओके, ऑलराइट. सो see, this is a problem with the culture also. As you know, Gen Z Achan was talking about, truth and fake, right? We live in a misconstrued culture where truth is broken down. It is wrapped. Right? Yeah, it is wrapped. And we are now starting to identify with whatever we want to be. Okay? But you have to understand that male and female is what God created. It is what God created, and there are fundamental differences in our physiology, in our psychology. Right? Yes or no? See, does it mean that women and men are not equal? No. Does it mean that women are less equal than men? Or does it mean that men are not as equal as women? No. It almost happens the other way, right? You hear people being more biased towards women. So, it's never like that. The Bible does not teach anything like that. The Bible says that God created man and woman equal in the image of God. So, man is created in the image of God. Woman is also created in the image of God. He created them male and female. Right? But at the same time, there are differences. Right? There are differences. So, for example, you always, when you go to a zoo, you go to see a peacock or a peahen. Have you ever? Both. I never go to see a peahen. You go to see a peahen. Peacock. Why? Huh? Yeah, peacock has wonderful feathers, right? Similarly, if if you go to a zoo, if there is a lioness, you will not be as excited. There is a lion, you will be excited because there is some distinctiveness. And that's not just with lion or lionesses or peacock or peahens or elephants. You know that sexual dimorphism is there in all species. In some species it is with male, in some species it is with female. Okay? Alright, so in the same way, in human beings also, men have a different physique and women have a different physique. Right? So, and there's nothing, that does not qualify something is better than something else, but it just shows that men are created different, have a different structure, and women have a different structure, but we are all created in the image of God. Right? So, that is why we have different sports category for men in most sports. Right? There are some sports where you have mixed, but in most sports you have different category. Like you don't have men's cricket and women's cricket together, right? You have men's cricket and separately, and you have women's cricket. Similarly, you have soccer separate. Yes or no? That is because of the different reaction time, different physical strength that is involved. But now what is happening? A man who did not have any record in male event suddenly says that he is a woman and he competes in what? Women's sports and breaks all the records. Right? A man who nobody bothered, see that her name is what? Lauren Hudson, right? So here there is a news, motorcyclist who identifies as a bicyclist sets cycling world record. So in a cycling competition, if you take a motorbike, then how will it be? Can you do that? No, in the same way, in female category, if you go and run, who is the fastest man? He's here. And tomorrow Visayan Bolt comes and say, call me, they, them. Right? You are the fastest man on planet. How can you? Doesn't fit in your head, right? Yeah, so what if Usain Bolt comes and tomorrow he runs in he identifies as a woman? What if Mike Tyson start identifying as a woman and go in boxing? What will happen? Huh? People will die, right? Right? Then tomorrow if you hit a woman and then police comes to arrest you, you will say I identify as a woman. Can you do that? Ephraim Bhai. Alright. Okay. So, but I'm saying that, see now this is a problem with our culture. Okay. There is no idea of what is truth. Nobody knows kya satya hai. जो आपको लगा वही सत्य है. Whatever you want to believe, that you can believe. So for example, if you go to your schools and colleges and if you talk to them about your faith, आपका faith क्या है? Do you talk to your friends about Christianity? And then what they will say? Your truth is, जो भी तुम्हारा सत्य है मेरा सत्य है. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि ये जो स्टेटमेंट है कि तुम्हारा सत्य सत्य तुम्हारे लिए और मेरा सत्य मेरे लिए, वो सत्य है क्या? द स्टेटमेंट दैट ट्रूथ इज रिलेटिव, इज दैट अ ट्रू स्टेटमेंट? If all truth is relative, then that statement is also relative. Yes or no? But our culture promotes these nonsense. And you think that हमारा culture में ये गेलो है? It was there 2000 years ago also. It was there. It was there in Sodom and Gomorrah also. It was there in the Roman culture also. So it is not a matter of progress. It is not a matter of, ये progress का मामला है ही नहीं, क्योंकि बहुत साल पहले से ही ये लोगों ने प्रैक्टिस किया हुआ है. ऑलराइट, ओके, कूल. सो दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम विद पोस्ट मॉडर्निज्म, राइट? नाउ फर्स्ट वी विल एक्चुअली डील विथ homosexuality. Okay, I'm going to divide this into two. First is homosexuality and second is, in my class, homosexuality and transgenderism, right? So see, what is the purpose of sex? What is the purpose? Yes, reproduce. Yes or no? See, actually, sex in itself, is it a good thing or bad thing? Bad thing. Huh? Okay. Ashish is saying it is a good thing. You understand what I asked? Okay. See, it is a good thing. In Bible there is one whole book written for which book? See, Sharon knows. Song of Solomon. And you might have heard pastors say that it is about Christ and church. That is all true, but basically it is about Solomon and his Sharon. Solomon and his lover, right? So God created sex. It is not something itchy. Okay, it is created by God to be enjoyed in what? No, in not any two people, in marriage. And what happens is, it helps to reproduce. Okay, it helps to reproduce. So that is what God said, be fruitful and multiply, right? To whom he said? To trees, to human beings. So fruitful meaning we don't produce fruits. But what do you mean by to be fruitful and multiply? To have children, right? Yes or no? Yes. So it is a good thing, right? The purpose of sex is to reproduce primarily, and it is also companionship, right? Because when two people are in close companion in marriage, then they have all the facilities and resources to raise their children, and the children are raised in a very wonderful environment, good environment. Okay? Now come to homosexuality. Have you ever heard two homosexual couples giving birth? Anytime? Anybody? Without any artificial help. Okay? Naturally it is not possible. So the first purpose of sex is not met. The primary purpose of sex is not met. So biblically speaking, it clearly does not meet the purpose. Now let's talk about secular. Let's keep the Bible aside for some time and let's think about it in a secular way. What do you mean by secular? In a normal way, like in normal meaning, without using any religious connotations or any religious ideas. Let's actually try to explore it. See, whatever human, see if you hit me now, okay, then and if you puncture me, if you break my face, what I'll do, I'll give a complaint. And if you do that to Sharon also, and then if you start doing that to everybody, what will happen? They will take him and put him in the police station or maybe put him in the mental hospital, right? Yes, why? Because his act is not creating good for the society. So whatever human beings do has to be beneficial to the society. That is why you are doing science. That is why you are doing medicine. That is why you are doing research. Because all of this contributes to the betterment of society. Do you do gambling? No. Because it is not going to benefit your family and it is not going to benefit your society. Are you going to rob bank? No, right? Because it is not going to benefit the society. So anything that you do in a secular sense has to be beneficial to the society. So recently the Supreme Court had a very key judgment. You remember? What was it? They didn't legalize marriage. They legalized homosexual marriage. But what they did? No, adoption is already there because individual people cannot opt. Right? So if a gay person wants to adopt a child, that can happen in India. Yeah. Yes, correct. All right. So what our homosexual friends are saying is that they want what right? Marriage right. But before they discuss about marriage right, they are focusing on right. But you have to understand what marriage is. What is the, as I told, what is the primary purpose of marriage? Reproduction and healthy rearing of offspring. Right? But the primary thing is not met by homosexuals. Right? Correct? Now, second thing is that a human child requires both a father and mother. In homosexual unions, is it possible? If you act like a female, you will be a mother. You need a mother for it, right? You cannot be a mother if you act like one. Right? In some cases, it is not possible because in some cases there are absent fathers and all these things. But what is the best? What is the best, ideal for a society? The best ideal is man, woman, and children. And the man and woman produces what? Children. A man and man, does it produce children? No. So first thing. Second thing is that, see, although this is a little bit controversial, but still, because it is in our church setting, it's okay. See, you know that, in your schools and also you discuss about this. If you have sexually risky behaviors, then you are in the risk of getting what? Sexually transmitted diseases. And if you look at homosexuals, and I'm quoting research here, they have greater risk of acquiring HIV. You know what is HIV, right? What is it? Virus, correct. And other STDs. They also have higher rates of substance abuse. They have higher risk of mental health, depression and anxiety. They have greater risk of suicide. And they have higher risk of certain type of cancers. Homosexuals are at all these risks. Their risk of getting these type of cancers and these type of diseases much higher than other normal people. Normal people meaning people not in such a relationship. Even if you are having risky sexual behaviors, that's a different issue. But so is it serving? So I'm not making an argument from the Bible now. What I am saying is, for the common good of the society, are such diseases helpful? Yes or no? No. And actually, couple of years ago there was some epidemic, I think monkeypox or something, and it was reported more in homosexual males, but because of some liberal issues, those news were not because of discrimination and all those things, that those news were not much, it did not come out to the public that much, but it was still there in news if you have been paying attention. Secondly, there is another problem with intimate partner violence, substance use disorder, and body dysmorphia. Do you know what is body dysmorphia? Huh? Do you know what is body dysmorphia? क्या है पता? क्या बोला सुनिए? Okay. Okay. Do you know what is body dysmorphia? क्या है पता है? Body dysmorphia मतलब हमको हमारे बॉडी के बारे में बहुत नेगेटिव इमेज है, ठीक है क्या? नहीं ना? What we look in the mirror in the morning and ऐसा दाढ़ी सब थोड़ा सा सेट करके, चश्मा थोड़ा ऊपर करके, मेरे जैसा मस्त, I look so cool and handsome, right? We think about that sometimes, right? कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है ना, है कि नहीं? कभी नहीं लगा? या ऐसा लगे शी क्या है? ऐसा कभी सोचा? मुंह देख, नाक देख तेरा, ऐसा कभी बोला है खुद को? नहीं, नहीं बोला है ना? नहीं बोलना चाहिए. But body dysmorphia is an extreme condition where you are overly obsessed, right? Overly obsessed with your body. So you say, you think that you are too fat, okay, and you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly thinking about it, and that becomes sort of a mental illness. Like you are constantly obsessing about those things, okay? So it could be color of your skin, could be your body weight, something. So especially in homosexuals, this is way too last, okay? This condition is very common. Now, so मैंने क्या? First I talked about marriage. Second I talked about common good of the society. Those things are actually connected. Now you might think, what if people are born gay? If people could be born gay, right? बचपन से अगर उन लोग वैसा है तो हम क्या करें? So let me tell you that till today there is not one scientific research that establishes a what do you call it? A cause. There is no causal relationship. मतलब इसकी वजह से लोग गे होते हैं, ऐसा कोई भी relationship, there is no established scientific material out there. There are correlations, of course, but there is no causation. Okay, so there is no proof that people are born gay. Okay. Now let us say that people are born gay. In future में कोई research आता है, people are born gay. Then should we support them? Why? Because being born is not their problem, right? Yes or no? What if your friend comes and tells you that people are born gay? Then what do you do? What do you tell? Sotra and go away. Yeah? What do you do? Yeah? See, you have to ask questions, right? I know that अभी थोड़ा आपका पीछे adults are not very problematic. You can ask questions. घर पे आके कोई बोलना नहीं है, okay? Actually, I know that some of you might be, it's difficult for us to ask questions. I remember this, एक story है, एक priest के पास एक लड़का जाता है और पूछता है कि ये गॉड ने सब कुछ क्रिएट किया है, है ना? तो ये सब क्रिएट करने के पहले गॉड क्या कर रहा था? तो उसने क्या बोला पता है क्या? ऐसा सवाल जो पूछ रहे हैं उनके लिए नरक बना रहा था. ठीक है, तो ऐसा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. यू कैन आस्क क्वेश्चंस. तो हम किधर थे बेटा? Correct. See, I am checking. Okay, it's not that I forgot, but see. All right, so listen. People are born gay. Now, see, tomorrow, if I slap you and I tell you that I am born like that, and this is like a joke, but seriously, there are serial killers who are born with genetical problems. Serial killer story and all, you know, na? They kill because they don't have empathy. It's a problem with their brain and all. Then what you will say? Oh, they are born what to do? It's a very genuine condition. You say like that. ऐसा बोलेगा कि अरे सच में उसको कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है, नहीं तो वो अच्छा आदमी है, ताकि पटेल मनुष्य है. ऐसा बोलेगा क्या? नहीं. Tomorrow if they discover a gene called rape gene, people who are born with that gene will rape. Then what do you mean? You will say that, oh, very sad. People are born like that. No, so tomorrow, see, there is no scientific evidence for this, but tomorrow, even if there is any evidence to prove that people are born gay, does it contribute to the common good of the society? No. Are you following? Yes or no? And I told you that biblically it is very clear that people are born male and female, and sex is designed for male female within marriage, right? Now there was a researcher by the name Simon Levy. Okay, he actually had a research that was published in 1991. Okay, and in the research he actually showed, after this research came out, everybody got excited because he showed some correlation. Okay, and what he found out that this is the best possible research that could have come out. He said that in human brain there are certain neurons called as INAH, okay, industrial nuclei of anterior hypothalamus. Okay, you don't know that. So he said that, see, in heterosexual men it is much larger than of women and homosexual men. So this INAH is a part of your brain, okay, and it is much larger in heterosexual men than in homosexual men and women. That is what he stated. Okay, and everybody went, oh, this is like proof for what? For proving that people are born gay. Actually, come to the previous slide. See, yes, come back. No, aage. See, this is something that happened in the 1970s. There is this magazine called as Advocate, and they started promoting this idea that if you actually prove that people are born gay, then you can argue that it is okay. I mean, it is good, or it is perfectly fine for somebody to be homosexual, right? And in 1991, Simon Lewis's this report comes out that INAH in your brain is much larger in heterosexual men and smaller in women and homosexual men. But the problem is that Levy only had 19 samples. Kitna samples? That is very, very, very small for a research. Second thing is that all these samples, all the people who had small INAH, they were also AIDS patients. Okay, so that means that AIDS, they died of AIDS. So the problem is that then it could be that it's because of AIDS that INAH is smaller. And another thing is that the second largest INAH neuron network was found in an homosexual male. What was his theory? If you are heterosexual, your INAH would be bigger. That part, it's a very small thing. It's not this big. Okay, it's a very small, like a pea. You know the moon. Itna chota hai. So he found, actually in his research only, the second largest INAH size was found for whom? For homosexuals. So this research is nowhere conclusive. ये research क्या है? Nowhere conclusive. But this is the best research that has come out for support of homosexuality, right? So now, see, I told you that God created man and woman in his image, and he created sex so that man could enjoy it, and by that process he could create, or he could be fruitful and multiply. Sex is not something that you can use according to your own will, right? And this is not just for homosexuals, right? Heterosexual also, you will also have feelings, right? Yes or no? How many of you are heterosexual males? Everybody. Okay. Everybody has got feelings, but you will act on those feelings? Huh? You are doubtful? No, no. So, even when people are homosexual also, people could have that feelings, but they should not act on it, because, see, sometimes when you look at your brother, you just want to slap him and remove his 2 teeth, right? But do you do that? Huh? You do it? Okay. You don't do it because it is not the right thing. Yes or no? Sometimes when you are writing your paper, you are going to fail. You know what you will feel? You look at other paper and write, copy. Do you do it? No. Who does it? Meet me after that. Okay. So what I am saying is that you should not be, I mean, nowhere there is a rule that you can be like what you feel. Okay? You feel and you do it. In Nike, you know Nike, right? What is the caption? Just do it. Just don't do it. You cannot do everything like that, right? You cannot do. There are many things. If you see a signal and you are driving a car, you will break the signal. You can break, but what will happen? When you tell the traffic policeman, I just failed. Just do it. Yeah, पर्ची काटेगा ना. So it is not possible. Even for heterosexual male, it is not possible. So you cannot act on your feeling. Now, let's come to the next thing. Can people be trans? Now, trans is actually a problematic term. Trans means, we already discussed about the definition of trans. We already discussed about the definition of trans. Actually, people think that trans people are born trans. Some people, especially older people, they will say, Bible Shandanmare kurchi parnittu. They were made. See, these guys are researching on this one. Sharon and Bennett. They should next year they should be taking class. Isn't it? I will tell your parents. No, good, in a good way. Okay, so see, in Bible you read about Enoch. Enoch के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है? Okay, see what is Enoch? Enochs are not trans. They are not transgender people. They are male. Only their male genitalia is removed. Okay, that is for a purpose because they are serving the king and they have consecrated their lives to the king. That is why they have to take such that practice. We don't do it now, but in our India also that practice was practiced. So most of the time, you see in our Mumbai also people come to beg, right? They wear sari and they look like men, right? They are called as hijaras. Okay. They are not transgender. Most of them are not transgender. They could be transgender, but they are also male, and their male organs are removed. Okay, and it is actually a very bad. I mean, it's a very bad thing that they are treated like that because as government, as organizations, people should look to uplift them, right? Because they are kicked out of the society, and you also when they come to you, make me kind of. You ignore them altogether, right? So there is no, I mean, that's a different thing altogether. But what is transgender? Transgender is when you, normal male, you think that you are a female, right? And it's called as gender dysmorphia. Okay, gender dysmorphia. Okay, it can happen in children also. In some children it can happen, and it can also happen in older males. Okay, in some children the problem is very, very severe, but at the same time, even if you have that problem, you cannot change reality to fit your feelings. Yes or no? Reality you can never change to fit your feelings, right? So if tomorrow if I feel that I'm a dog, do I become a dog? No, right? So tomorrow if I say that my name is Ashish. If I say that I am Abhishek and Akshay, then what you will say? Right? But tomorrow if I say I am Asha, then what you will say? Oh, you are Asha. So tell me your pronouns. Right? And hashtag brave. Hashtag coming out. Right? Yes or no? This will happen. Right? So, see, people cannot change what they are physically. So this is an example of a very famous example of a person called as David Dreamer. Okay, I will just close in another 2-3 minutes. So David Dreamer was born as a male. Okay, and what happened is in when he was a child, there was a surgery that had to be done, and because of the surgery, his sexual organs got dismembered. Okay, so the parents did not know what to do. This was in the 1970s. So they took him to a psychologist. So David Dreamer had a twin brother also. So the psychologist said that is okay, because if you raise him like a girl, what will happen? He will be a girl. So they started raising him like a girl. And for most of his life, he thought that he was a girl, but he could not believe. He knew that there was something wrong with him. So when he was teenage, he realized that there was something wrong, and finally he confronted his parents, and his parents, उसका पेरेंट्स ने सच उसको बोल दिया. ठीक है, अब क्या हुआ कि ये डेविड ड्रीमर शॉक में चला गया. ठीक है, और उसका भाई जो है, जो पूरे बचपन से सोचता था कि ये कौन है, मेरा बहन है, उसको समझता है कि ये उसका भाई है. एंड दोनों, I mean, even though you might be laughing, but this is a very serious thing. And both of them went into a, sort of a depression. And the brother killed himself or suicide. And in 2004 sometime, David Dreamer also shot himself dead. Because they could not handle that trauma that they've been going through. Okay? So you can never create or you can never change a boy into a girl or girl into a boy. There is this is a poison that is there in the society. Right? People are trying to sell medicines, use puberty blockers to, just 1 minute. To put surgical methods and all these things. And on top of that, just one more thing. Then some people will say, then what about intersex? See, intersex is a it's a physical condition. Intersex is a physical condition, but intersex से लोग transgender नहीं होते हैं. What decides your gender? आपका gender क्या decide करता है? बाल है तो लड़की है, बाल नहीं है तो लड़का है, ऐसा है? या पतला आवाज है तो लड़की है और बेस आवाज है तो लड़का है, ऐसा है? क्या decide करना है? No, not your chromosomes also. It is not your chromosomes also. Men का chromosome क्या है? XY, पक्का ना? और what is female chromosome? ये भी नहीं decide करता, because in intersex condition there is a chromosomal defect. It is your gametes. What? You know what is gametes? Yeah. Whether you produce sperm or you produce ovaries or eggs, right? So if you produce sperm, then you are a male. If you produce ovaries, you are a female. So even in intersex condition, male and female is defined. Okay? Even, so I'm telling you, there are intersex conditions, सब लोग में नहीं होते. For example, Turner syndrome, it only happens in females. Klinefelter syndrome only happens in males. So they are male, they only have a chromosomal defect. Okay? Sometimes can happen their genitalia or their sexual organ can be slightly, it can look different. But I told you, it's not chromosome, it is not your sexual organ also that decides your gender. What is it? It is your gametes. Have you ever heard that you alone, some person, he alone became pregnant? Huh? No, no? Can it? Because your body cannot produce both sperm and egg. Either your body cannot produce anything or it will produce only egg or sperm. Okay, it is not a sexual condition. Okay, so it will never happen that one person only produces or one person only gives birth to a baby. It's not going to happen. So that is intersex. Okay, so you understood what is the difference? So you understood the gist of LGBTQ? So if you are talking to your friends, would you be able to tackle these questions that are coming towards you? Yes or no? Yes. Was the session beneficial? Louder, no? Okay. Okay, so I hope if you have any doubts and all, you can definitely walk up to me. And I have just skimmed through the last part because we don't have time and we need to go for a tea break. But may this be beneficial to you. And if you have any problems or any, if you want to discuss any doubts or anything, please to reach out to us or the seniors who are out there. You can reach out to them and talk. And may God bless us and hope you have a wonderful time. Thank you. May God bless us.